Hey guys, Eric at SoCal Cigars here. Well, I'm back in the States. Just got back from a trip to Denmark. Visit family and friends. Had a great time, great food, saw a lot of cool stuff. It was a great trip. Um, but on this trip, I had a plan, and the plan didn't happen. And I was a little frustrated, a little bummed, a little perplexed. So maybe in the end of this, I can solicit your help too to see if I can uncover what's really going on here. But the plan was to bring home a, maybe a box of cigars from Denmark, and here's why. So I got a buddy I ride with named Bobby, and he came to me a few months ago and said, "Dude, I've got a cool old bottle of Danish alcohol. We got to get all the Vikings that we ride with together, and we'll sit around and have cigars and drink some of this alcohol around the fire pit." And I'm like, "Cool, count me in. Sounds great." And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? While I go to Denmark, I could bring some Danish cigars back so we can really make this an authentic situation, have that Danish alcohol and have some actual Danish cigars. Cool. Why I had the idea is because the last trip to Denmark, when we were down in Germany, we were checking out of this really cool alcohol store that in the middle of the store has a big table with all the different appropriate glasses for the different types of alcohol, and they let you test anything in the store. So even if the bottle's not already open, they'll open one and label it as a tester, and they'll let you test anything you want in the whole store. So it's actually a really cool place. And it's down in Germany, in the northern part of Germany, right by the Danish border. So back in the day, the border shifted. So there's a lot of Danes that live in northern Germany, and there's a lot of Danish shops that they sell Danish food. I mean, they literally fly the Danish flag. So it's very common for Danes to go down there and buy alcohol and soda and household supplies and different food products because it's sometimes half the price because the taxes are better in Germany than in Denmark. So they'll make that trip maybe once a month and grab the stuff they need. So we always do the same thing. Anyway, so the last time we were down there, we were in this alcohol shop. At the checkout counter, when they were going to ring us up, I look and there's like a little humidor sitting there, and it had this killer big old fat Churchill, if you can see it, Royal Danish cigar, good size cigar, right? I'm like, cool, man. I go, it's an anniversary edition, single blend, vintage, 1813 to 2013, Royal Danish cigar with the royal seal, the whole bit. I'm like, cool. So I'm thinking when I go back this time, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'll just get him in Denmark because it's probably easier. So we did. We made our trip down into Germany and bought food and had lunch and did sightseeing, saw castles, saw actually my wife's castle where her family lineage goes back to a king and all that stuff. So we got to see a lot of really cool family history and really neat stuff. Had a good time down in Germany. Anyway, we came back up to Denmark, and the plan was in our second week, at the end of our second week, was to go into Copenhagen for about 4 days and stay with family that lives there and check out Copenhagen. And everyone had said that when you're in Copenhagen, you have a really good chance of probably finding what you're looking for cigar-wise because they have some really good tobacconists down there. And we looked a couple up, and I found a really good-looking shop, which I'll post a picture of. And it's right down in the heart of the walking street that we'll be on in Copenhagen. So it'll be perfect place to go. And so that was the plan. I was going to buy a box of Royal Danish cigars, bring them back, and we can do this right, with my buddy's bottle of alcohol. So we head down into Copenhagen. We do our sightseeing. We go to Tivoli. We go to a bunch of different places to sightsee. We had a great time. Finally, it's time to go to the cigar shop. I walk in, greeted by this lady who I don't know if she owns it or runs it or whatever, but she was very nice, very knowledgeable. I said, "Where are you from?" I said, "California, USA." She goes, "Oh, you're probably looking for Cubans." And I go, "No, actually, I'm not. Cubans are actually pretty easy to get." I go, "What I'm looking for is Royal Danish cigars, and here's why." And I told her the little spiel about why I want them. She looks at me and she goes, "Well, you missed it by 4 months." I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, the royal, I don't know if it's a family or the government or how it worked, but whatever entity there was in charge did not want the royal seal, I guess, on cigar products. So she said that they banned selling Royal Danish cigars in Denmark. And she goes, you missed it by about 4 months. All of our inventory's depleted. We had to get rid of everything. That's it. She goes, you can get them in Germany still, but you can't get them in Denmark. I'm like, oh my God, you're kidding me. You know, I was already in Germany, and I'm not going back to Germany. You know, we only go once. It's in like almost a 2-hour trip to get down there. So, excuse me. We all got sick in Denmark. It seemed like everyone was sick in Denmark, including us. So we're still trying to get over this cold cough thing. Anyway, so I was bummed. I'm like, great. You know, and I looked in the shop. I actually left with nothing because they either had stuff I already have, stuff I can already get, or Cubans, which I can already get, and everything was pretty high priced. So, you know, I really left with nothing. Nothing would have been unique, you know. And that's always what I'm looking for cigar-wise, is something that I can't get anywhere else. Well, everything they had I could get somewhere else. So, you know, the big disappointment was that I was looking for the Royal Danish Cigars. And apparently 4 months ago would have been fine. When I was there, not so fine. So, that being said, when we got back into the States, because I found out another odd thing, a lot of times in other countries, you can't pull up websites that you're used to pulling up. And also on Netflix. For the airplane ride, I downloaded some Netflix shows and movies onto my cell phone so I could watch them in the airplane. And there's a couple of days we had downtime in Denmark where I figured I'd just go and watch one of those on my phone because, you know, everyone was either sleeping or it was late or whatever, and we were on weird timing from jet lag. And several of the movies I downloaded said not available in this country, so that was kind of odd. And then when I tried to show my brother-in-law, like I was telling him to go to like cigarsinternational.com, wouldn't pull up on his phone, my phone, their computer, nothing. So it's kind of funny. You just, especially with Cigars International, you think that would be everywhere. Well, apparently it's not. So anyway, so I had to wait to come back here to start looking online to see what's going on here. So I went to the Royal Danish Cigar website, and they mentioned nothing about this, which I thought was odd. Maybe. I also understand the marketing side of things, that you don't want to put negative things on your website. So maybe they're just leaving this whole thing out because it's really only affecting Denmark, not the rest of their sales. And they seem to sell everywhere. The problem is I went to several cigar websites that I'm used to buying from, and they have them listed, but they're always sold out or out of stock or whatever. And it doesn't look like, I don't know. I don't know if they're just not available anymore. I don't know if something's happened. I don't know if they've been cut off. I'm not sure what the deal is. So the only other thing I could really do is I went on to Royal Danish Cigar has a Facebook page. So I went on there and I posted kind of what happened, that I was there, couldn't buy them. She said this 4-month thing, that they're not allowed to sell them in Denmark anymore, which I think is very strange. And I put, you know, hey, is there any information out there on this? So I'm hoping to get maybe some feedback from the actual people from Royal Danish Cigars, at least from maybe their Facebook page, to let me know if this is accurate or not. But I can't imagine if I'm in this lady's store that she's not gonna. I doubt she's lying to me. You know, especially in Denmark. I mean, it's people are very honest, and she came across as extremely honest, and was honest enough to say, but you can go get them in Germany. You just can't get them here. So I don't doubt her credibility, and I'm sure that what she's saying is true. I just think it's odd, and I'm curious why. So anyway, that's kind of the spiel about my Royal Danish Cigar adventure in Denmark. Obviously, this is a very niche video. Probably, you know, I only made it because I thought it was kind of just an interesting thing that happened. And I figured, why not pull the resources of the world of social media? So if you guys maybe find something out that I don't know, or I can't seem to find, or if you see them for sale somewhere, leave a comment below. Let me know, hey, I found them here, or I seem to have found this information. This is kind of what you're talking about. Anyway, maybe, you know, if you're bored and you're looking for cigars, maybe throw in Royal Danish Cigars in the search field and see if you can't come up with something that I can't seem to run across. I'd be interested to see what you have to say. Anyway, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe, you know, the whole gig. Anyway, have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on the next video. Enjoy.